Welcome, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do a very basic scone recipe. These are soft, moist, hot, and from half hour to beginning to end you can have fresh baked scones on your table. What we're going to do foremost is we're going to preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 400. At the end of the video you can go down into the details underneath, and in the description it'll give you the recipe down there. This video will just be the how-to. What we have is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of butter or margarine. I like to use margarine because of the oil content in it. Got 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, and about 2/3 cup of raisins. In our bowl goes the flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. Basically all your dry ingredients. We'll combine these, get a good mix on the baking powder. And that's all together combined. We will add our margarine on top. Butter, if you want to use butter, use cold butter, cut it into small cubes. Like I say, I like margarine because of the oil content in it. Just makes them a little bit more moist. Now, to cut your butter into your flour, there's different ways of doing it. I like to use the mixer with the bread hooks on it. Makes it fast, makes it easier. You can use 2 knives cutting back and forth until it's all cut up, or you can use a pie cutter. I like to use this because it's pretty quick and easy. We'll mix all this through. And what we want to do is have like a cornmeal consistency. Make sure you stir it lots while you're doing it. So you see the flour changing color. It doesn't have to be broken right down. What you want to do is just make sure you get that kind of crumble looking aspect to it. Once it looks like a crumble top, we're good to go. There you go. That's simple and easy. Now you got that kind of cornmeal look to it. You want to take your half a cup of sour cream. I always break my eggs into a separate bowl just to make sure we don't get any shells into it. When you know you have no shells into it, into your sour cream. Get rid of some of the stuff, make some room. And we whisk the egg with the sour cream. Make sure you incorporate the whole egg into it. You want to stir it until it's fairly smooth. Now I know this doesn't look like a lot of moisture going in there, but believe it or not, this will make a wet dough. Add all your sour cream and egg into there. At this point you can dump your raisins in. On your lowest speed. Mix it all up together. I know this doesn't look like it's a wet dough, but it is a wet dough. You'll see when we tray it out. We're going to tray with our parchment paper on it. Knead this together a little bit. you'll feel it. You'll feel how wet it is when you knead it together. And you just want to knead it together until you have no more crumbs left in the bottom of the bowl. And this is where you start to feel how wet the dough actually is, even though you only put a half a cup of sour cream in there. There you go. Once you got all the crumbs, you got it all kneaded together, stick it on your parchment paper. Now what I do is I just form it by hand. You just press it down. You're looking for about 3/4 of an inch thick. You just want to make it into a nice little square. See, as you're pressing it, all the moisture comes out, how shiny it really is. This is really a wet dough. When this is done, and it comes hot out of the oven, you're going to sprinkle sugar onto it right away so that the sugar melts onto the top of the hot scone. To cut these in half this way, in half this way, then each one of the squares cut into triangles, cut in half on a diagonal to make your triangles. Really sticky dough. Stick your knife underneath. And now you just want to spread these apart until they're not touching. That is basically it, and they are ready for the oven. So we'll place these in the oven, 400, about 10 to 12 minutes. When they're golden and baked on top, that's when we'll take them out. You see, I got it about 3/4 up in the rack. Close your oven, let them go 10 to 12 minutes. We'll come back in then and we'll take them out and put the sugar on them. Now, through the miracles of modern technology, we are past our time. We have these cooked. These have been in for 12 minutes, and there you go. See, they about doubled in size. As soon as they come out of the oven, you want to sprinkle sugar on top. And the idea here is that when you sprinkle the sugar on top of the hot scone, the sugar will actually melt to the scone and give it that sweet flavor. These are hot, but as soon as they come out of the oven, you want to take them off the tray right away without breaking them. You want to immediately take them off the tray so they stop cooking underneath. And there you go. You open up a scone and you'll see inside, look at how light and fluffy they are, and still very moist. So that's your basic scone in half hour, into your bowl, into your oven, and on the table. Don't buy these, make these. They're really easy to make, they're quite nice when they're warm, your family will love them. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next video.